What's up with Nintendo? Why did we get so many updates in the past few days? It was first Donkey Kong, Bonanza, and Country Returns, then Pokémon ZA, and Mario Kart World, and now even Mario Wonder gets an update, with new features and a playable Rosalina. Am I the only one who sees a potential pattern for Mario Galaxy 3? Maybe Nintendo could be prepping us for a potential Nintendo Direct around February 5th, maybe. The one interesting thing that's shared between most of these updates is that they added polish. No, I'm not talking about polishing the game, I'm talking about Polish, like the Slavic language. The two games that are the most interesting to me that got an update are DK Country Returns and Mario Wonder. Let's start with DK. Let me remind you, and I will continue reminding you, that DK Country Returns HD released on the same day that the Switch 2 was announced. Way to overshadow your game, Nintendo. But first, hi, my name is Totter, and I do videos mainly covering Nintendo. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy that kind of content. Donkey Kong is supposed to be one of Nintendo's pillars. The company treats the IP well recently. Not like in the past though. Remember the Great Donkey Kong drought, where before Bonanza fans only got one re-release of a Wii U game? Wait, actually, before Bonanza, Nintendo re-released a now 16-year-old game for the third time. And guess what? Nintendo is re-releasing this game again, for the fourth time, on the Switch 2, natively. On January 21st, roughly 1 year since the game's original re-release on Switch, we got a trailer announcing an update and a free Switch 2 version. Personally, I hope we get even more free Switch 2 versions. Animal Crossing's update should have been free. The update also lands on original Switch hardware, which is good. But honestly, a lot of this content should have been there in the base game since day one. The timing is curious too. The re-release originally appeared the same day Nintendo announced the Switch 2, and only now, a year later, we are finally getting the content that should have shipped with the game. Well, better late than never, I suppose. Functionally, this patch, version 1.1.0, released on January 20th, 2026. It cleans up almost everything people complained about in the port. Several visual issues were restored to match and be more on par with the Wii original version. Also, co-op enemy hitstun problems have officially been fixed. The co-op mode is finally playable, people. I'll be using GVG's John's footage for illustrative purposes. The co-op mode is finally playable the way fans expected. That alone makes the update worth celebrating. Overall, it appears that Nintendo addressed nearly every major issue the port had. We also get improvements to the image quality, making the game not HD anymore, but renaming the game now, a year after its launch, to like, I don't know, Donkey Kong Country Returns Ultra HD. Well, that seems kind of redundant. Plus, we also get shorter loading times. Those make the game feel smoother, especially given how at launch this game had massive loading time issues on Switch, which stands out a lot when you consider that the 3DS version on inferior console didn't have these issues. The Switch game was more or less a port of the 3DS version, which was a port of the Wii version. It could be that Nintendo decided to re-release this game because they have a whole theme park that they built around the mechanics of 2D Donkey Kong Country games. Adding Dixie Kong is a welcome and a very cool addition. Her whole mechanics are transported straight from Tropical Freeze, including her hair glide flare jump ability and her girl power. I am sure that a lot of little girls will be really excited about her addition. Especially John's daughter from GVG seems to be very excited. Go check their video out. I will be linking it in the description. When playing solo, you can switch which Kong appears when grabbing a barrel. In 2-player mode, player 2 can switch between Diddy and Dixie Kong from the world map. I absolutely love the new speedy speedrun mode. It looks so cool! It's extra speedy and tighter than before. I got Crash Team Racing vibes from the insanity and intensity of the new time trials. This mode is accessible when any stage has been cleared at least once. Game share is honestly one of the most Nintendo thing Nintendo has done this generation. Of course, yeah, so far, yeah, hope we get more. and I also hope that more multiplayer games and titles get this mode integrated into them. The update also adds Brazilian Portuguese, which You're going to Brazil! The cool thing about this game is that it forces you to relearn 2D platforming in a Donkey Kong way, not a Super Mario way, or a Sonic way, or a Celeste way, or what have you sort of way. These small updates feel like life support for titles that Nintendo considers on and off games, not binge games, but the kind you return again and again after months or maybe even after years. Okay, but what's next for Donkey Kong? Maybe we will get a Switch 2 version of a newer DK release. And by newer, of course, I mean a game that's already 12 years old, aka Tropical Freeze. We could receive a new update with new levels added to the game. To be honest, only time can tell. But with Nintendo pushing DK this generation so much, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Also with Niche, originally seen as lazy re-releases, getting an update so far off since their launch, maybe we can also see updates for other games of that sort, like Luigi's Mansion 2 for instance. It's also cool that you can now play all of the Luigi's Mansion games on Switch 2, officially. Okay, and now I want to quickly go over and discuss Mario Wonder's update. It's so weird, by the way, because in the Switch 2's overview trailer, we got to see how 120 FPS could look on Switch, and they used Mario Wonder for that. But what do we get now? I'm gonna tell you, we surely don't get 120 FPS in Mario Wonder. This update leans heavily on the multiplayer side, both couch co-op and online, even adding a new character to the mix, and a new difficulty. The Switch 2 edition plus Meetup and Playable Park or whatever brings a variety of new features. A game room plaza for multiplayer minigames, Toad Brigade training challenges that just recycle levels I suppose, Koopalings stealing Playable flowers, and most importantly, a playable Rosalina. Also like 3 Wonder Amiibos, but yeah. I mean, the elephant's kinda cool though. Also, adding Luma as a sort of mouse mode feature function is, yeah, it's a choice. It reminds me of the pointer in the Galaxy games, which could make this game now like a Galaxy 2.5? Maybe we will be getting Galaxy 3 soon? Playing as Luma is kind of like playing as Cappy in Mario Odyssey. The second player doesn't take damage, and it's only for the novelty of playing with someone. You know, no skill, no pressure, just the bare minimum to be able to say that you just play a game with somebody. To be perfectly frank, I find that really nice. Especially for people that don't play games that much, or for little siblings, little kids, toddlers, etc. Now we also get a creepy talking flower, which is really unsettling. But it's a really Nintendo thing to do, yeah. The update also adds an easy difficulty mode, assist mode if you will, which, yeah, okay, I mean, the game was easy enough as it was. It even had an easy mode if you chose the right character, and as it is standard now, you can buy the Switch 2 upgrade pack for $20 or 20 euro or however much Canadian dollars, if you already own the base game of course, like with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Playable Rosalina and Wonder is huge in my opinion, and her omission from the game in the first place was really odd, especially knowing full well that she was in a variety of other Mario titles, like 3D World for instance. Players just expected her to be in the endgame content, but alas, no Rosalina was in the endgame of Mario Wonder. Being playable in Mario Wonder could hint to a potential Mario Galaxy 3 game. Some people may ask, who are these updates for exactly? And my answer is, well, Nintendo seems to think that some of their games are on and off titles like I mentioned already. Games that you don't just binge, but you play them on and off in an infrequent basis. So following that logic, it makes sense why we get these funny little life support updates. But what do you think? Tell me in the comments, I love reading them. Also check out my Nintendo year in review if you want to know what my thoughts on Bonanza really were. And with that, それではまたね! Bye bye!